This morning on NBA Sports Talk with Walter Strong III, we're going to get into the season preview for the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and more. So do me a favor, grab a pen, grab a pad. It's time to go to work. Good evening, good morning, everyone, and welcome to NBA Sports Talk with Walter Strong III. I'm your host, where we talk NBA basketball and more from a fan's perspective. And as we said in our opener this morning, we're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers season preview 2023. We want to get into a deep dive on what we learned, not just about NBA Media Day that just happened over a week ago, but what we're expecting from the purple and gold. And so if you're new here, I want to encourage you to let me know in the chat where you're watching me from. Give me a hashtag Team Live in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag purple and gold as a sign of replaying here on NBA Sports Talk. I see already we got our good man, Tech Troublemaker in the house. Good morning, sir. Good morning. And if you are joining us, also let us know where you're watching us from. Give us hashtag Team Live in the chat. So let's get into the content this morning because we got hopefully a special guest that's going to be able to pop in. So we want to try to knock this out in the first 15 minutes and then let this Laker fan give his own predictions. I told you, NBA Sports Talk is not giving its perspective, not from the analyst, not from the former or current player. We're coming on to give it from a fan's perspective. So that means every now and then we got to let the fans come on NBA Sports Talk and give their perspective about their favorite team. So let's talk about point number one. Point number one, which we covered in on the Media Day reaction. LeBron James kicked it off Media Day, and there was just an excitement about this returning roster, about basically everyone that's returned from LeBron to Anthony Davis to D'Angelo Russell and so many other players. They were able to re-sign Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura. They are able to bring back their core players that helped them to get to the Western Conference. The only player who did not return was basically Dennis Schroeder, who went on and moved to sign with the Toronto Raptors. He had a great FIBA World Cup series and playing with Germany. And so certainly you got to tip your hats off to him. But this is a returning roster that I believe has a lot of great chemistry. This is a returning roster with Darvin Ham returning and making some adjustments to the coaching staff that's positioned itself to be able to make another run for banner number 18. They've already won 17 banners. One of those banners came against my Detroit Pistons. But we got them back. But this is the Lakers preview. But they're making a poise for banner 18, having this returning roster and really, focusing on doing a lot of off-season workouts and basically just getting the team together so that they can be able to gel, they can mesh, they can get ready for the season preview 2023. And me personally, as an NBA fan, that's what I want from my team that I'm rooting for. I realize over the last couple of years, we've been seeing the NBA putting together type of superstars almost like an all-star game that you would see being put together during, the all-star of the West or the East or the captains picking their teams. But what that has shown me as a fan, that you got to have chemistry. You got to have a cohesive roster. You not only have to have a cohesive roster, but you got to have everyone on the same page, from ownership to management to the players to the training staff. Everyone to the coach have to be on the same page. You can't build a team based on the talents on 2 or 3 players and then basically think you're going to sign a bunch of minimum veterans just to come together and think a team is going to gel together. The Brooklyn Nets has showed us that does not work. Other teams in the past have shown us that that does not work, because there is going to be a team that is really cohesively together and that has a great chemistry, and that's going to work from beginning to the season, through training camp, throughout the season, to the playoffs, to getting into the finals. The Denver Nuggets have proven that. The San Antonio Spurs in the past have proven that. My Detroit Pistons 2004 have proven that. But I believe this year the Los Angeles Lakers have positioned themselves to have a returning roster that's really going to make some noise. And then also we got to talk about their key additions. The key additions of signing Gabe Vincent, who is an individual who's from Stockton, California, I believe. He played with the Miami Heat last year, making it with the Heat to the NBA Finals as an 8th seed and as an undrafted player, being under the Heat culture and knowing how to play championship basketball. I think Gabe Vincent, from a point guard perspective, and also in terms of his experience last year, it's going to be a great asset for the Lakers in season 2023 to go after Banner 18. Then you have Christian Wood, who was with the Dallas Mavericks. And this guy has a lot of talent. He has a lot of potential. But unfortunately, he had a very negative narrative that was following him through some different teams that he's been on, from the Houston Rockets to the Detroit Pistons and the Dallas Mavericks. But I believe being with the purple and gold, playing with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and being with this type of championship culture organization, he's going to be able to turn that negative narrative around. I think the Lakers did a great job a couple of years ago during the bubble in signing Dwight Howard, and he had a similar negative narrative, and he was able to understand his role and basically go after that role from beginning to end, and he played a major part in helping the Lakers bring Banner 17. And so I believe with Darvin Ham, with LeBron, with Anthony Davis, and the others, Genie and management, and Rob Pelinka, I think they can turn that negative narrative around for Christian Wood. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this morning's discussion on the Los Angeles Lakers season preview 2023, do me a favor, click that thumbs up button for me, hit a share button, and share this on your favorite social media platform. Let's get on to number 3. Number 3, LeBron James. Let's make no misunderstandings here. LeBron James is the leader of the Los Angeles Lakers as this team. However, the anchor of this team, who needs to really be the anchor and help this team for 4 quarters each night, 82 season games, is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has to be the anchor of this team. And listening to him during NBA Media Day for the Lakers and sharing how he's been working on the offseason and participating on off-season workouts and really trying to get his body healthy and strong, if this man can put together an 80 to 82 season game with his skills, his talents, I really believe he can make a run for the MVP discussion. He can make a run for the MVP discussion. Yes, I know Joker is over there in Denver. Yes, I know Embiid is over in Philly. But when you look at this Laker roster and you look at LeBron and you have Anthony Davis, who's healthy and who can be the anchor of this offense and on the defense, and as a leader who's communicating, not just LeBron, but he's communicating as a leader on and off the court, this man can be an anchor who can bring the Lakers deep into the playoffs, back to the Western Conference Finals, and possibly have a rematch against either Denver in the Western Conference Finals or either Golden State or Phoenix. They can position themselves for this. But Anthony Davis has to be the anchor of this team. He has to be able to, rather, some people say the narrative is, or he doesn't want to play the center position. He wants to play the power forward. Well, if that's your position, Rob Pelinka understands that that's Anthony Davis's strength. Then you got to put the players into place like a Jackson Hayes and a Christian Wood, and let AD go to work in the 4 position and have an MVP season. Now, I heard some stuff online through a video about possibly Darvin Ham wants AD to shoot at least 6 to 7 attempts in 3-pointers. As a big man, I understand today's games that big men can stretch the floor as a stretch 5. I understand that. However, 6 to 7 attempts and the 3-point where he can maybe knock down 1 to 2 is way too many. Now, if you want to do 3 to 4, that's fine. But 6 to 7, Anthony Davis shooting 3-pointers, I'm not really for sure. And that's the reason why I'm hoping my special guest, all the way in California, Los Angeles, will be able to bring you some clarity, because I want to see AD really go to work, back to the basket and moving the ball and having an MVP season, to really go to work on these big men like Joker and Embiid and Giannis, because I believe Anthony Davis can bring it, but he's got to be the anchor. And then I want to talk about point number 4, LeBron James. This is his 21st season in the NBA. And, the 3 things that really stuck out in listening to him about the Los Angeles Media Day just last week that they had was, the leadership that he is bringing, not just on the court, but he's bringing off the court. The leadership. I remember when he first signed with the Lakers, and I saw him one of his first televised games, and one of the players had hit the floor. Sometimes a player will try to get up by himself, but he communicated. I don't know if he had the mic on, but if the mics were close to him, he communicated to the rest of the team that, no, you stay there. You let us come and pick you up. We are a team. We when one player is down, we come together and we pick that other person up. He was, from a leader, communicating the type of championship basketball that the Lakers needed to return to. And I think this is the year that LeBron really is going to communicate that leadership. He's going to communicate that experience through those years of him being in the championship with Miami, with Cleveland, and also in the bubble with the Lakers, and him being able to get the Lakers back. So I'm excited. But the third point I want to touch on regarding LeBron James is the moment. The moment. And now I'm going to be honest with you. As a Detroit Pistons fan, it was very difficult for me during the latter years of Michael Jordan, as he went through his second and third retirements, to really appreciate the moment that Michael Jordan was giving us as basketball fans, and what he was providing. It was very difficult, because as a Piston fan, I just found it difficult to root for Michael Jordan. I was always rooting for, hoping that Charles Barkley could dethrone him, and hoping that Gary Payton and Sean Kemp could dethrone him, and hoping that Clyde Drexler and Terry Porter could dethrone him, but neither could. And when Karl Malone and John Stockton had their shot, I said, okay, this is the opportunity for them to dethrone him. But they couldn't get it done. But when it was time for Michael Jordan to move on, and he had retired that final time with the Wizards, it was like, wow, the Air Jordan era is over. And so the moment that LeBron James is giving us in this 21st season, as NBA fans, depending if you are a Philadelphia 76er fan, like my man Ethan from NBA Talk, good morning, sir, or Tech Troublemaker, wherever fan you are, we got to appreciate this 21st season with LeBron James. And so with that said, we're going to allow Los Angeles, one of their fans, to come here on NBA Sports Talk and give their not just their opinion, but their they are there on the scene. They're living in California, as Dre said, California love. And so I want to bring on a good friend of mine who've had a chance of speaking with him on other shows. He is the host of Best Los Angeles Television Show YouTube channel and more. And I want to welcome to NBA Sports Talk for the first time, Mr. Bruce Ellington. Bruce, are you there, sir? Okay, I got okay. Okay, we will see if we can. Okay. Uh-oh. We got some movement here. I think we got the one, the only, Mr. Bruce Ellington here. We don't have any audio yet. Looking to get some audio. As we're waiting for Bruce to get his audio here, let me just look at some comments here. What's up, Ethan? Glad you're joining us this morning. And Ethan says, Anthony Davis should be in the paint. I agree. Ethan, maybe it's me and you. We just from the old school of wanting, that type of style of basketball, of Ewing and Mourning and Olajuwon. But I understand it's different. It's different. And so I want him in the paint at least 85 to 90% in the game. 2 to 3 3-pointers, stretch the floor as a 5. But other than that, I want him 85 to 90. Let's see if Bruce is still, he's still working on the audio. Okay, I'm gonna pop you back in the green room right quick while we get that, and I'll bring you back, and you just give me a thumbs up when you think you got it. All right, so Bruce is working on that for us. What other comments that we have here? Tech says he's watching us from the airplane landing in ATL. Where you headed to, Tech? Where you headed to? Let us know here in the chat where you headed to. He's watching us on the airplane on his way to Atlanta. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, Bruce, you think you're ready? Okay, let's try Bruce one more time. And this is a busy man here. Okay, we don't have any audio. Okay, make sure there's no audio issues here on my end. Okay, dude, he is. Okay, yeah, no, he's not muted on my end. Okay. We're gonna work this out. I'm gonna give Bruce a few more minutes. So while Bruce is working that out for me, let's get over to. We talked about LeBron James' 21st season. Let's get into predictions. Let's get into predictions for the Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers made it to the Western Conference Finals last year, and unfortunately, they lost in 4 games. But each game was competitive. I will tell you, without giving you my in-season predictions on who's going to be in the finals, I will tell you the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm picking them to come out of the Pacific West. I'm picking them over Phoenix. I'm picking them over Golden State. And I'm picking them to be one of the top 4 teams in the Western Conference. I will go so far and let you know that they will definitely be in the Western Conference semifinals. But in terms of my picks or who will be in the Western Conference Finals, that you will have to tune in the week before the NBA season kicks out when we do our season NBA preview on where the Lakers stand. But I definitely have them as the coming out of the West. So that's my predictions. What's your thought, Ethan? What's your thought, Tech? Let me know. I got Florence here joining us this morning on a Saturday. Happy Saturday morning. Thank you so much for having me as a guest on your show. Had a great time on the Power Productivity Planning live stream with Florence Donald. Congratulations on you getting your first 100 subscribers. All right, so let's see if we can get Bruce's audio fixed. Okay. Do you want to try to maybe go out and come back in, maybe? Maybe you can try to go out and come back in, because I definitely want to get your feedback on the Los Angeles Lakers. because your video is good, your lighting is good. Not for sure. Look and see if you. All right. I'm gonna send you a message in Messenger right quick, and maybe try to go in and try to go out. Okay, so he's doing that. Okay, fans, stick with me right quick. I want to do put in a "We'll be right back." Very seldom use this, but I want to see if we can get Bruce on. We are back with NBA Sports Talk with Walter Strom the third. We have been talking about the Los Angeles Lakers season preview 2023. Let's just go back to the chat as we're hoping we can work out this technical difficulty with Bruce. Oh, okay. I like that sound. Let's see if this works.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, there we go. There we go. We got magic coming out of Los Angeles. The one, the only from Best Los Angeles TV Show, Bruce Ellington. Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
I'm good, sir. I'm good. Thank you for working with me and getting the tech bugs out of the way. Sir, let me turn this over to you because this is your team. This is your team, the Los Angeles Lakers. You heard me talk on some of the points. What's your thought, first of all, about Media Day?
Well, it's good. I think that overall, the success of the team is going to depend, of course, as it is in all sports and on all teams, the health of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But I think the real wild card in this is to see how much better, if any, that Austin Reeves has gotten and how consistent that D'Angelo Russell is. If D'Angelo Russell plays like he's playing in preseason, it's only a small sample size. Then I think the Lakers really could take that next step and really challenge Denver. Denver's the champions, and they're a force to be reckoned with still. I think even though they lost a couple players, but with Joker and Jamal Murray, they're the best. So, but I think that D'Angelo Russell is really the key. Other than, of course, if LeBron James and Anthony Davis are healthy. If they're not healthy and they can't play at least 60 games apiece, and be healthy for the playoffs, because I think with the Lakers, it's not as much the seeding that matters as we see. As long as you're not in the play-in game or anything like that, that's not what you desire to do. But if the Lakers finish in top four, and in order for them to do that, LeBron James and Anthony Davis have to play at least, I would say, 60 games. But if they get D'Angelo Russell playing consistent, Austin Reeves takes a little bit of a step up. I think they're really a force to be reckoned with and can compete with anybody.
Definitely. We're talking here with Bruce Ellington from Best Los Angeles TV Show. He's on YouTube. If you want to listen, watch some great content about the lifestyle and just what goes on in LA. This is the man's YouTube channel show you want to watch.
Well, it's also on Channel 13, though. It's not just a YouTube show, but it is on, I guess, if you're not in Los Angeles and you want to see it, yeah, YouTube. But it's on Channel 13, which is a sister station to Fox 11.
Oh, okay, great. That is good to know for those who are watching the replay. Here, give me a hashtag team replay. And if you're in the Los Angeles area, you can check him out on Channel 13. What's your thoughts about this returning roster? Because when I sat there and I watched the media day for the Lakers, I watch it every year. I think they're the ones who really got me into watching media day events, and just the excitement that I heard about the returning roster, the workout seasons. It just brought a lot of excitement to me as a fan. But your thoughts in terms of the returning roster here.
hmm Yeah, I think it's good. And actually, when they added Vincent from Miami, they added. They really didn't lose too much other than Schroeder, but they replaced him with Vincent. So I think that's good. Everybody else is back. Uh, I think still, like I say, it's just going to depend on Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis is going to have to shoulder a lot more of the load. Him and Austin Reeves and Russell, because LeBron has to pick his spots now. He
Mhm.
can't play 40 minutes a game and play like he used to play. He has to pick his spots because let's face it, he's almost 40 years old. So, um, I think that Anthony Davis, there's a lot of talk out here. How many threes is he going to shoot? People want him to be up under the basket, which
Mhm.
makes sense because he's really good under the basket. But um, he is. Let's place it. Three-point shooting, even for big men, is important.
Yes,
But I think that with the Lakers team and they have other three-point shooters, they're going to need him under the basket and getting rebounds and being a rim protector too.
definitely, definitely. Ethan from NBA Talk says he thinks the Lakers are going to be in the top three. Definitely agree with that assessment. Definitely agree with that. Um, I see Anthony Davis, Bruce, as being the anchor. I know in the past he's had his issues, and I shared on NBA Sports Talk. I remember when I first came, I went to a New, yeah, they were the Brooklyn Nets, and they were playing at the time in New Orleans. I think they were the Hornets at the time. It
hmm
was towards the end of the season, and of course, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna see Brooke Lopez, I'm gonna see Anthony Davis, and they were all in street clothes, basically for the NBA season.
Yeah.
I really believe that this is a different Anthony Davis, where he can really have an MVP season and being the anchor. Your
W-
thoughts?
Well, it could statistically, but the thing about it, the Lakers, like a lot of teams, they really need a leader. I mean, let's say the game's tied. Okay,
Mhm,
well, the Showtime Lakers would give the ball to Kareem or Magic. You
mhm,
know,
mhm,
Kareem with the hook, or Magic would drive to the basket or make one of those unbelievable shots like he did against the Celtics. But this team, okay, who are you going to give the ball to? I mean, other than LeBron, and as long as LeBron isn't too tired,
mhm,
then there's not a go-to guy. And a lot of people say, well, Austin Reeves. Well, okay, but a lot of teams experience that. I mean, I think that even Giannis, as great as he is
mhm,
he somebody that you give the ball to in the last minute or two? I mean, you know, so I think they're going to have a leader. Who's going to be the leader? And Anthony Davis, hopefully, will fill that role because they're going to need that. They can't
mhm,
just depend on LeBron James all the time. And if they can depend on him to have the ball under the basket, get it in good spots, come up with that key block, yeah, we're good to go.
definitely. We're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers season preview for 2023. If you're just joining me, let me know in the chat where you're watching me from. Give me a hashtag team live. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag team replay. Click that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed to the new NBA Sports Talk with Walter Strong YouTube channel, click that subscribe button, click that alert notification button, and join the conversation in the live chat or comments. Bruce, I want to get your thoughts about the in-season tournament. Now, we've talked on our fellow brothers show, Talking Sports with Anthony. Um, I want to get your thoughts here on NBA Sports Talk about the in-season tournament. What when you saw this getting ready to do, I said, okay, I see the benefit for the other teams, but is this really something that the Lakers are really want to get up for? Your thoughts? What's the Lakers fans thinking about the in-season tournament?
I think the Lakers fans think it's ridiculous, and it's
Mm,
still the focus is still on the championship in June, man. That's really what everybody's playing for. I mean, an in-season tournament, okay, if they win that, but they don't win the NBA championship, who cares? I mean,
mhm,
so I still think that the NBA is going to be a little bit stricter, excuse me, on load management.
mhm,
And but I still think that uh, everybody is going to have to uh, put their best foot forward and still, like, quote, try to win that. But that's not the focus, man. The focus is on the championship um, in June.
Mhm, mhm. Definitely, definitely, and it's interesting. I think there was quite a bit talk yesterday about, the desire to the league getting back to an 82 game season in terms of a culture and mindset. And as a fan, I want that. I'm wondering though, has the training and how players prepare themselves for an NBA season and playoffs, has it dramatically changed in such a way now it's hurting players? Compared to when Kobe was playing, because Kobe played with a broken finger. It was a story he talked about when it was time to play Vince Carter and the Raptors, and there was the talk about, Kobe was scared. He said, "Nah, this ain't the day I'm gonna be resting. This is the day I'm gonna show up and serve Mr. Carter his papers that who's the best player in the game." Has it changed from what you've seen?
Well, I think the mindset overall has changed. I mean, like, let's say, you know, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all those guys. If you go to them and say, even Allen Iverson was
Mhm,
tough. I
mhm.
mean, man, his body took a pounding because he was always taking the ball to the basket and ended up on the ground. If you went to any of those guys and said, okay, well, you're not going to play today, you're going to rest.
Mhm, mhm,
Well, Jordan or Kobe or Bird would look at you like, rest.
mhm,
What
mhm.
are you talking about? And then not even if their knees hurting a little bit. I mean, I'm talking about they in order for those guys to be out, they have to be what they call injured. Not
Yes.
just hurt, not their left knee is a little bit sore, not that they tweaked an ankle or something. They have to be injured.
Mhm.
So I think that just the overall mindset of how these players now approach the season, good or bad, um, because maybe they do it because there is so much emphasis on just winning the championship and being ready for the playoffs. As we see, in baseball, not to turn this into a baseball show,
Sure,
but
sure.
the Dodgers won over 100 games, the Atlanta Braves won over 100 games, and both of those two teams are home. So,
Mm.
you know, now it's the Phillies and the Diamondbacks. So really, even though those teams won all those games, what did they get out of it? And I think
Mhm.
NBA players are just approaching it that way. Is I want to be ready for the playoffs. I want to be 100% for the playoffs. I want to be, quote, well rested, no injuries if possible.
Mhm.
And so I want to set out. That's why even the superstars, they probably really only want to play, let's say, 70 games.
Okay.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis, we hope to get 60 games out of them, particularly
Okay.
LeBron,
Mhm.
because of his age and everything. Because if you play him, it's just like if you have a classic BMW that's from the 90s, it's nice, but you can't just run it into the ground, or the 80s.
Great point. Great point. Great point. Yeah, you gotta take care of your
You gotta
classics,
take
and
you gotta take
gotta
care of your
take care of your
classics.
classics.
So
Definitely.
I think that just the overall mindset, not just from a Lakers point of view, but just the way players approach it, man. Um, I think even across town, look at the mindset of the Clippers. Kawhi
Mhm.
and Paul George. Those are guys that have a problem staying in the lineup and staying healthy. Well, Kawhi is not going to play more than probably 50 or between 50 and 60 games. He just doesn't. And
Right,
it's
right.
really a distraction to that team because sometimes you don't know if Kawhi is going to play or not till about 15 minutes before the game. He'll go, my knee hurt.
Mhm, mhm,
It's like,
mhm,
what? Wait a minute, where'd this come from? You was just out here practicing, or you just played the night before last. What do you mean your knee hurts? I can't play, my knee hurt.
mhm,
So,
mhm. No.
um, but that didn't used to be the case, man. Like I say, I don't remember. Uh, the only way I remember players sitting out is maybe, let's say, maybe the last game of the year, like if
Mhm.
and they already were, have won the division by far, and the game, quote, didn't mean anything. But now, just in a random game in January or February, man, players sit out.
Yeah, it's a different NBA, and I understand from a health standpoint, but I like the way one person said, well, the league ran so hard with one side of the data that they forgot to get the other part of the data that would balance itself. If you're a person in accounting and you're reconciling, you have your debits, but if you don't have your credits, then how are you going to balance and reconcile something? And certain the league, it ran with all of this data that they were saying that they were getting, and as a result, now it's not reconciling. It's as a result, you have sponsorships, you have partnerships like DraftKings, you have individuals like ESPN and TV deals that are saying, "Hey, look, in these national televised games, we want to see Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the Battle of Los Angeles, but we can never get it."
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that not that I know that these guys will say their bodies is important, and it is. But when fans buy tickets too,
Hmm.
and they'll say, well, I want to see, like you say, let's say they want to see this matchup: Lakers, Clippers, Kawhi, Paul George, LeBron, AD, and then somebody can't play. Well, that just takes the sting out of it. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
now you're going to look at backup players playing, or you're not the stars aren't playing. Well, we're going to sit. Of course, the key players usually don't sit out. Let's say marquee games unless they're injured. Like
Okay.
Giannis isn't going to sit out against the Lakers unless he just has
Right.
to.
Right.
But or Anthony Davis isn't going to sit out against them. But I think too, one more thing, getting back to AD,
Sure. Sure.
um, like when he plays against Joel Embiid or Giannis or some of the Joker, he plays better. But then, like the next night, let's say he's playing the Pacers or somebody that's not
Miles
highly
Turner or
regarded.
someone.
Yeah,
Okay.
just someone that or just a team, the Wizards. Then he'll have 15 points and 6 rebounds, and they
Mm.
can't have that.
Oh,
Got to be
you're right.
consistent. Not if he's going to be MVP candidate.
This is true. You have to be able to bring a consistency, and some will say, okay, maybe it's because of the league in terms of it being more international, and that's the reason why Joker can flourish in it, Giannis can flourish in it. But I'm just believing that if a player puts in the work and they take care of their body and they have the training and the diet and everything, he should be able to be consistent and not one night giving you 40 and 20, and then the next minute he's giving you 15 and 9.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable. Florence has a question from you from Equip Institute. She asks, what are your thoughts about players playing to get reps, to get ready for the playoffs, both mental readiness as well as physical readiness? Your thoughts on her question?
Well, I would say, yeah, sure. You do. I would say, um, it's a good question, but the reps, I would say the continuity of the team, the
Hmm.
chemistry. I mean, man, I looked at the way last year Denver had that chemistry
Hmm.
and the continuity, the way they played together. I mean, they always found the open guy. That's what I used to admire about the Lakers and Celtics of the '80s. Man, they could always find the open guy, particularly even the Celtics.
Hmm.
Good passing team, good continuity, and your players have to be on the floor to make that happen. You can't
Hmm.
have guys shuffling in and out of the lineup. You know, you can't one night to the next know, okay, well, who's going to play? I think that's where the Clippers fall. That's where they fall down.
Mm.
If they don't know um, who's going to be in the lineup one night to the next, how you going to have any continuity?
Hmm. You can't, you can't, and it's interesting. You know, everyone's up for all these extensions. And for the narrative I'm hearing, and I would love to get your thoughts. With what you're hearing from the narrative on your side of the country, is that Steve Palmer is not ready to extend Kawhi and extend Paul, and he
Right,
hasn't even extended Tyrone Lue, and little brother's getting ready to go into a new building in 2024.
right.
That's an interesting
Well, they're in an interesting spot,
development.
Steve, because okay, those are the three marquee names of that franchise: the coach, Tyronn Lue,
Hmm.
and Kawhi and Paul George. Now, if they don't extend those guys and they go into this new building, and let's say those guys leave, and then the Clippers go to last place, that's not the way you want to go into a new building.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you want to you sure go into a new building, that's great, but you want your team to be in contention and have a shot to win something. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't want to extend those guys, I hope they have a plan B for a free agent or something
Mm-hmm.
because uh, people ultimately come to see the NBA is a star-driven league.
Yes.
It just is. You come to see the stars. I used to do it. I mean, I used to, uh, see Dr. J, David Thompson, George Gervin, all those names from the '80s. I wanted to see those guys, man. I wanted to, I when my cousin was playing for the Lakers,
Hmm.
and I had the opportunity to go to the 2018 All-Star game. That was awesome, man, because he was in the
Mm.
three-point shooting contest.
Okay. Okay.
Wayne Ellington.
Yes, a lot of our NBA sports fans may not know a fun fact. This gentleman is the cousin of Wayne Ellington, North Carolina
Yeah,
Blue
yeah.
Tar Heels. See, I when it comes to Duke in North Carolina, I'm North Carolina all the way because I got Danny
Okay.
Green around the corner from me, where he used to
Oh,
live right
okay.
around the corner from here in North Babylon. So I'm North Carolina all the way. So that's a fun fact for all our sports talk fans. Wayne Ellington, he's played with the Lakers. He played for my Pistons.
Yep.
I think, for the Heat as well. Correct?
Now he's a coach for the Heat. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
He
I
just
didn't.
signed about 2 weeks ago. He's a assistant, basically assistant coach for the Heat or
Okay.
player
Okay.
development or something. Yeah, he's out of the league. He had a good career, played with a lot of teams.
Hmm.
Pretty much a role player. I mean, he wasn't never a star, but like he was in college. He got 2000. I had a tough time, see, because I'm a Jayhawk, just like
Okay.
Tony. And so in 2008, North Carolina played Kansas in the Final Four. So I thought, man,
Oh
what
yeah, that's right.
who?
That's right.
And honestly, um, Kansas got up in that game 40-12.
Hmm.
It was amazing. And then North Carolina came back and made it a game.
Hmm.
Kansas won because North Carolina just ran out of gas. But then
Hmm.
everything all's well ended well because the next year North Carolina beat Michigan State in the Final Four, and Wayne got Final Four the MVP.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I do
MVP of
remember
the
that.
Final Four.
Yes.
So it all worked out. Both of my teams won. North Carolina is my second team, man.
Yeah,
I was
definitely.
sorry. I was sorry to see them suffer so much last year. I don't know what happened to them.
Oh my God, they are definitely going through a time. Like I said, North Carolina is my team, but now that my princess is up in Syracuse, her first year, I'm keeping my eye on the Syracuse Orangemen. I want to see what they're gonna do in the ACC, if they're gonna make any noise. But like I said, it's gonna be tough with teams like Carolina, the Jayhawks, and some of these tough collegiate teams. It's gonna be tough for Syracuse to be able to make some noise. Hey, if you're just joining me here on NBA Sports Talk, we've been talking about the Los Angeles Lakers season preview 2023. If you're just joining, let me know in the chat where you're watching me from. Give me a hashtag Team Live, Team Replay in the comment section. Click that thumbs up. Got to get your predictions, Bruce, because I know you're on the West Coast, so it's still early. I want you to get you
Yeah.
some coffee and some stuff this morning. I need to get your predictions for your Lakers and who you see in the NBA Finals this year.
Well, in sports, I've always had a model, man, where whoever is the champion until somebody proves otherwise.
Hmm.
So, um, if I'm not a betting man because I don't bet on sports anymore. When Buster Douglas beat up Mike Tyson, I quit betting on sports. I said, okay, anything. I said, big fat out of shape Buster Douglas can beat up the baddest man on the planet, then I don't know. But anyway, if I was
Hmm.
a betting man on it, man, I really had to lay money on it. I'd have to go with Denver, man. I can't
Hmm.
see, I'd say the Lakers are a threat, sure. I'm trying to think of who else. I just don't think Phoenix has the Phoenix and the Warriors. I don't think, even though it's a three-driven league, I don't think those teams have enough. Never mind rebounding, but the defensive presence, you
Hmm.
know, to really challenge. So I think it's still between the Lakers and the Nuggets. And in the East, I am going to go with the Bucks. I think it's between the Bucks and the Celtics. Everybody pretty much agrees with that.
Hmm.
I think that Dame is going to make a difference, but once again, Dame has to be there. I mean, he's kind of had some health issues himself too, because he's not 26 anymore either. So Dame
Right,
has
right.
to be there for the
Definitely.
Bucks to beat the Celtics. Otherwise, I think the Celtics will be in the finals.
That if the Celtics make the final, and like I said, I'm not gonna give my predictions yet, but if the Celtics make it to the finals, you can't have a finals without the Lakers. You
Yeah.
for banner 18 being on the line, Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, Superman and Batman against Superman, Batman, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James, and their respective Justice League. You can't have a finals without the Lakers.
Yeah, I hope that would be the finals. I would love it. I love when the Lakers play the Celtics in the finals.
Mhm.
It's the matchup really. Two of the marquee franchises, the marquee franchises, honestly.
Mhm.
That would be interesting. I don't know, man. The Celtics have a lot of good players and a lot of good athletes. That'd be an awful tough matchup for us, but I think we could handle it. But I just say I always pick the champion, man. I pick
Okay.
until somebody,
Somebody
you know,
beats the champ.
until somebody really beats the Nuggets and shows. I mean, like let's say I think the Lakers and the Nuggets probably play what, 4 times in the regular season.
I believe so.
We need to send a message and win 3 of those.
Mm. Okay.
That's my opinion. I mean, the regular season, doesn't quote mean anything in a lot of people's eyes, but it does. It sends a message. They can't beat us 4 times in the regular season, and then we think we just gonna walk in the playoffs and beat them.
Mhm.
We gotta send a message to them, man, and beat them, um, and say, look, we are now a threat. We've got. I mean, when you look at where the Lakers were this after 12 games, they were 2-10,
Yes.
and then they made that trade midway through the season, and they were an entirely different team. No team had a better record, I think, after the All Star break than the Lakers. Even though
Mhm.
we didn't beat the Nuggets,
Mhm.
they were clearly they were the champs. And Jamal Murray though had the series of his life.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
Lakers were in all of those games until the fourth quarter, and that's what separated them. Man, if Joker wasn't, you know, doing it, man, Jamal Murray had the series and the halves of his life. So hopefully, I don't know who it's going to be, but they've got to find a way to put somebody on him to keep him at least contained. He can't have 40 points in a
Mhm.
series against us or average 32 points a game or whatever it was, and us beat them.
Definitely. I mean, and that's where I think the addition of Gabe Vincent
Yeah,
is so important. I think with
right.
him being a key addition because if D'Angelo Russell and I mean, and he's a pretty good player. He's
Yeah,
really a pretty good player.
he's been an all-star
Mhm.
before. He wouldn't be my first choice, as a point
Okay.
guard, but he's certainly a lot better. I mean, it was a great upgrade to have him over Russell Westbrook because that sure didn't
Yeah.
fit.
Oh wow. Whew.
That didn't
That.
fit at all. That's when we were 2-10 with him.
Mhm.
So our team came a long way last year, man. They really did, and I was, pleased to see that.
Definitely. Well, Bruce, I want to thank you for coming on. Where
Yeah,
can
man.
people find more about Best Los Angeles Television Show and you? Just give
Here,
you
I'll
an
type it in the
opportunity to let.
chat. Yeah,
Okay.
www.bestoflosangeles.tv.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. I want to just throw you in the green room right quick. I'm going to go ahead and bring the train into the station and we'll chat off air. All right.
Yeah, let's see.
Perfect. All right. There you have it. Los Angeles Lakers fans. I got the number one voice of the Laker fans out there in California. He gave you his unbiased perspective on what the Lakers need to do to beat the champs. Now, are the Denver Nuggets going to be the Mike Tyson of this year's NBA, and the Lakers are going to be James Buster? No, I'm not saying that. But I think the Los Angeles Lakers, from a boxing analogy, can be an Evander Holyfield. That I do believe they can be. So if you've enjoyed this morning's NBA Sports Talk, do me a favor, click that thumbs up button, share this on your favorite social media platform. And if you haven't subscribed, I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and click that alert notification. We will be back this Sunday night at 8 p.m. as we continue in our season preview of teams leading up to this 2023 NBA season. So I want to thank Tech, who was listening to us on the plane on the way to ATL, Florence, Ethan, and my online listeners who've been checking us out. And most importantly, I want to thank Bruce Ellington for being here on the West Coast of NBA Sports Talk. So we will see you on Sunday night, 8 p.m. Everyone have a good weekend.